Hey everybody, real life disclaimer, I am working from home today and there may or may not be a cat named Lydia who is determined to be on camera today. So just give her a little grace. If she comes through, we're going to try to pretend like we don't see her, but she usually makes herself pretty well known. So last week, HAR put out its market update for the month, and the entire report is very robust. It's full of great data points, and I would love to talk to you about them. I'd be happy to email you a copy of the report or meet you and talk over coffee because it's one of my favorite topics. But for the purposes of this post, I have pulled out an image of one particular chart from that report that I think speaks to all of us at every price point, and that is the affordability index. Regardless of where you're looking for a home or what budget range you're in, you have to be able to afford the home you're purchasing. So what this chart does is it takes the entire Houston metro area, everywhere within HAR that you can search for a home, and it breaks it down into particular areas to show you what has happened with the affordability in that particular area from Q2 of last year to the end of Q2 this year. So since my primary home is sitting in Katy, and that's where I do a lot of my business and talking about people's home values, I thought I would use that line item as an example and then give you just a big picture and let you run with it. Give me a call if you want to talk about it. So what it's showing for us in Katy is that about 20% of the people in Houston could afford to purchase a medium-priced home in Katy right now. Last year, about 29% could. So that's a pretty big adjustment in the number of people who can afford to buy a medium-priced home here. That median price has gone from $427 last year to $477 this year. So that's a pretty big equity bump for those of us who have been sitting in our homes for the last year. And the minimum qualifying income has needed to experience a 29% increase from the end of Q2 of last year to the end of Q2 of this year. So what that says to me, if I am working with buyers, is as we've been waiting to see what happens with the market, prices have continued to increase, and many of our buyers are now having to look into a different area to afford the home that they once could afford here. And that's very frustrating. For those of us who own our homes here and have been here for quite a long time, it's an exciting piece of data. But for those buyers trying to get into the market, it's a little bit more frustrating. And the entire Houston metro area has experienced these same kinds of gains, with the exception of one, and that is San Jacinto County. And if you know me personally, you know I actually purchased a property in San Jacinto County last year. So I was very happy to see that while San Jacinto County is the one place where there was a decrease, the Lake Livingston area in particular, still there's a 25% jump in values that happened there over the last year. So I'm glad they separate that out for me. I'm sure they did it specifically for me. But what I'm trying to say, what I'm trying to communicate to people is to just be really aware of what's going on around you, looking at these numbers and comparing them to last year. At the same time these values were increasing, interest rates were also increasing, and we still have amazing rates that people, a couple of years ago were excited to refinance to. So we're still in a great position. You just have to be aware of what's going on around you and jump when you can. The right time to buy a house is when you need to buy a house, when you're ready to buy a house financially and you can afford to be in the market that you're in. And this is a great chart to look at to see just that median price. This is not going to tell you the entry level price to an area. There are always homes that are going to be more affordable. There are going to be homes that are at the higher end of the spectrum. Just remember, anytime we're coming in below that median, that is where we're going to see competition for those homes be pretty heated in any market. So no matter if we're, starting to normalize a little bit and we get a little bit more strength back for our buyers, we're still going to be competing pretty vigorously below that median price point. And when you get in there is when you experience some great equity growth. It's a great way to come into a community. So take a look at the chart, see what your area looks like. And if you have any questions about what that means to your home value or what other data points are available in the market update, just let me know. I would be happy to chat with you anytime.